had a conversation a year ago about your moving to Thailand. And by the way, I will put that interview up on the website. It's already up there, but I'll put a link to that interview so you all can hear that. But this is Tony, my nephew, and a year ago he moved to Thailand, and he has some really interesting reasons why he did it that we recorded. Matter of fact, I think we did a three-parter, and I've only put the first part up, but I will be putting the other two up. So you get more of an in-depth interview from him. But this is fortuitous because he's been there a year, and now he's going to give us an update of what happened. What did it meet his expectations? What would he have done differently? And so we'll start by having him giving you a brief background. So you don't have to go and necessarily listen to the first one unless you just want to go ahead and do it at your leisure. But give them a brief background of why you decided to make the move to Thailand. And let me just add, you hadn't decided on Thailand exactly, had you, or you were gonna?
I was looking at a few different places.
Okay, all right. Then so I'll let you go. Just give us a brief background of why you decided to retire outside of the United States.
Well, I turned 50 and I was having some health problems, so I said, well, I probably need to slow down. So that's what led me to say, okay, I'm going to, if not retire for the rest of my life, slow down, concentrate on health for a few years, and then see what happens. And then so, in order to do that financially, that's what prompted me looking at other countries, because it's just very expensive to be in the United States right now. So I went on the internet and I looked at a list of countries or where expats go. And I think I had like 5 criteria: stability of the government, low cost, safety, health care, and like infrastructure. So I think those were the 5 things, and so that narrowed it down to about 6 or 7 countries around the world that expats typically go to: Thailand, the Philippines, Costa Rica, Panama, New Zealand, Portugal, and I believe Spain are the big ones.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Did Mexico?
Mexico's actually on some list. There are some problems with border towns in Mexico, depending with crime sometimes. So they will say if you're going to go to Mexico, sometimes go a little deeper into Mexico so you're not on the border town. I had actually looked at El Paso, Texas, and Juarez because El Paso is one of the cheaper places to live in the United States. And you can kind of border hop daily and stuff with Juarez being right there. Years and years ago, I went down to Mexico to get myself a certified English language teaching, and I went to Playa del Carmen, south of Cancun, for about a month. And so I stayed in Mexico and I liked Mexico. It was a beautiful country, but I ultimately decided to check out those other countries before I made a final decision.
Now let me ask you this before we get into how your year was. And I'm asking this question in anticipation of you giving us details of how you came back, and I'm talking about in terms of transportation. What was your mode of transportation going to Thailand a year ago?
Oh gosh, well, we're in Florida, so I took a flight out to Seattle, and then I stayed overnight in Seattle, and then the next night I took a flight from Seattle to Taiwan, and then had a brief layover in Taiwan, and then flew into Thailand.
And tell us about the time. What's the travel time from Washington State to? Start from Florida. What's the travel time from here to, if you remember?
Well, Florida was about 5-6 hours because we have the different time zones, but I think the flight's about 5-6 hours, and that's a long flight. But then Seattle to Taiwan was like 21 hours or something. It was just a very, very long flight. I had a hard time with that flight, and then Taiwan to Thailand, I think it was like 2.5-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I got to Taiwan, I was like relieved. It was like the biggest part of the trip, and just to be able to walk around and be off get off that plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very long flight, and part of the reason I came back the way I did was to avoid.
Well, don't tell me which way you came back. We'll end it with that because that's interesting in and of itself.
Yeah.
I'd like to know more about that for personal reasons.
Okay.
Okay, so now, a year later, you're in that area because I know you've been traveling around, but you went to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
How did that work out? Did it meet your expectations? Just tell us a little bit about it, because hopefully you don't have to tell us in detail, because maybe later on we would want to have a more detailed interview, but just give us the high points, low points, or whatever. Once you got to Thailand, what's the process?
Well, I flew into Thailand, and I had to go through their customs. Some very long lines. Thailand is has a lot of tourism, but it's a very tourist-friendly place. So they give you, I think, a 90-day visa to start. I waited till I researched it a little bit, so I waited till I was 50, so I could do the retirement visa process when I was there.
Oh, okay.
So coming into the airport, you got to go through the customs, get your passport stamped and everything, and it's the weather is similar to Florida, so I was comfortable. People were very friendly. There are a lot of, like I said, has a lot of tourism in Thailand, so a lot of different people from all over the world in the airport, and this is my first time in Asia, so it was a bit of an adventure at this point, kind of going around, wide-eyed, looking at everything. I had watched some videos, so I had kind of like my list of things I knew I needed to do, as far as getting a phone service turned on. I already knew where had my hotel, so I just had to get through customs, get my luggage, and then get my transportation to the hotel. So I was excited, and it was an adventure, but it was also very welcoming when I got there, and so I never really felt any danger or out of place. It was just an adventure, and so I enjoyed it. Thinking back.
And you said it's tourist friendly, so you did not have to get a visa prior to
No.
going. Oh, okay.
No, you can go in, get a stamp, and I think maybe it's just 30 days. Maybe it's the retirement part that let me stay till 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to an agency, but initially when I got to the airport, I just showed up and they just stamped my passport. I think maybe that was 30 days, and then after I went to the agency, they took me down there and did the retirement visa process so that I could stay for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then every 90 days you have to get stamped again.
You have to do you have to leave the country?
You can. If you leave the country, then your 90-day clock starts again.
Okay.
So either you go through that process or you leave and come back. So what I did end up visiting other countries in the area, so I would kind of plan that around closer to my 90-day mark. So
Okay.
So I think maybe only one time did I have to actually just send my passport in to get stamped because I was taking trips.
Okay. Okay. And you said it's tourist friendly. So
Well, I should tourist friendly and expat friendly, I should say.
Oh, really?
Because there's a distinction, yeah. So yes, when they're welcoming to people who are just coming for a week, and you have a lot of people that live there. I was joking with my mom. Oviedo has changed so much. I was telling her that I see more black men in Thailand than I do now
Wow.
when I'm traveling around Oviedo.
Wow.
When I'm in the store.
So hmm. I'm just curious now. Not that we'll go into it, but obviously I've read a little bit about where I've heard that people are settling in Taiwan from the United States, and I have a friend who told me about her cousin who settled in Taiwan. He's from New York, and then another person told me about an ex stewardess who liked it, and then bought a condo there and settled there. So, is it any particular group of people that's more prevalent? And I'm talking about group of people in terms of from what countries? Probably have the most, or do you know?
Well, I can tell you that the people I encounter the most, a lot of Russians, a lot of Indians, Australians, English, and then I would say Chinese and Korean tourists. As far as living there, you see more Russians, Indians, English, and Australia that live there. And of course, Americans are there. There are Americans there, but our numbers just don't match the
Other countries.
those other countries that are closer.
How about Africans?
I do see some Africans there, and I guess I don't want to call it bigotry, but maybe my own personal assumptions is when I'm walking around and I see a black person, I'm thinking they're from the U.S. And but half the time, at least half the time, when I saw another black person, they were not from the U.S. Maybe not from Africa. They might have been from England,
Right?
But yes, and we are in the minority of expats. There are more Russians and Indians and English there than us as far as living there. But we do have a pretty good presence.
Do a lot of are there a lot of businesses held by foreign expat?
I try to I frequent 4 businesses that are owned by African Americans. So when I do encounter an African American that has a business there, I try to go support. 4 restaurants. I have a doctor there. He's from Thailand. My visa agent, they're from Thailand. Yoga instructors from Thailand. Barbers from Thailand. So all the other services I utilize are pretty much from Thai people. But there are expats that have like restaurants. So, and the real estate agent, he's from England.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's and do they say why Thailand is so popular? Is because of all those things you listed: safety, stable government.
I mean, it's just I visited Cambodia. Some of the places in Asia that people said to look at for as far as retirement were Thailand, Cambodia, the Philippines. So I did visit Cambodia and the Philippines, and I thought there's a lot of money in the Philippines. There is a lot of money,
Oh yeah.
but it is somewhat like living in Miami. It seemed to me like there was a very little middle class. It seemed like you have the ultra wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the poor,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how I felt in the Philippines. Like there was this really ritzy area,
Mm-hmm.
but it was very confined, and you had a lot of poverty around it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the Philippines, I went to the mall, and the security guards had shotguns.
Ooh.
So I said, "Well, gosh, this is
Oh wow.
you know what?" And people would tell me about walking around. I got to be careful of crime and everything. So I only went to Manila. And maybe I didn't give the Philippines enough of a chance. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe go to one of the smaller cities.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yes,
just,
sir.
I just didn't get the same feeling as in Thailand. And
Is there a U.S. base in the Philippines?
I think so.
Manila or so?
Yeah, in Manila, there are some U.S. Facilities that I didn't get a chance to visit. Now to get my global entry,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Singapore. So I went to the U.S. Embassy in Singapore
Mm-hmm.
for that, but I didn't go to any U.S. Facilities in the Philippines or Campo. I went to a military base in well, I'll say that I guess for the later part when you say
Okay. Yes. Yes.
but yeah, so so Asian countries: Thailand, Singapore, Cambodia, and the Philippines. And out of all of them, I feel safe when I'm in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
even though they say Philippines people speak English and Thailand, I have not had a problem. You have Google Translate.
I know.
A lot of people do speak a little English,
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm planning to go back, so I'm planning to take a Thai class now. I didn't take a class this last year because I wasn't sure
Mm-hmm.
whether I was
If that was going to be.
a long term. But now I say it's worth it for me to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had a problem communicating to do business or.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds interesting. Very interesting. So, did you go to Vietnam? Have you been to Vietnam?
That's my plan for this next year.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, you have to leave every 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
and I am retired, so I gotta space out these trips budget wise.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
understand. You're retired. Yes.
Yeah, so Vietnam is on the list for this year, and I really do. This is Africa. I really do want to get to Ethiopia,
Mm-hmm.
so I can see the Christian churches there that are built up from the dug into the ground from the
Mm-hmm.
stone. It's just I like going to see monuments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I went to Cambodia was to see Angkor Wat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to do Vietnam and Ethiopia this
And
year.
interesting. Well, the world is very small now. With the Wi-Fi and all that, it's very small.
It is. I have HBO Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I get the same programs that I would watch here in the States. I
Mm-hmm.
have the internet. I order groceries and things on Whole Foods or.
I've gotten something from you. Yes.
From you and from Miles.
I have gotten something from you. Yes.
Yeah. So it's the internet, and I can do my banking.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it a lot. It makes it a smaller world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Without those things, I might feel more homesick.
Right.
But I'm pretty much doing the same things I would do.
If you were doing here,
Talking to the same people. So I talk to Mom once a week on
Mm-hmm.
Friday.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. It's like again that with Wi-Fi. I mean, it really makes the world small. There, I forgot the name of it's Starlink. You know what Starlink is? The Elon Musk.
Oh, that
except they use the satellites like Wi-Fi, but because they're using the smaller satellites.
Yeah, in lower orbit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And so that's just going to make things even more connected.
Oh, most, especially during the Hurricane Helene, I believe, where they in North Carolina, where it was just really bad. They lost connection. Elon Musk sent up, gave people the Starlink, and they were able to connect and with the outside world.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I was wondering. And I think maybe you've answered that a little bit. Last time, I mean, it was going to be also new that interviewed you and your expectations. Were your expectations positive? Do you feel like you made it was a positive move to go ahead and try to retire outside of the United States? Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, like very, very comfortable. And I think there's traveling is good and seeing other places is good, and there's a arrogance that comes from just being in your place, your culture, that at least I won't include other people, I guess, that I had. So then when I got there, I might say, oh, well, this isn't as nice perhaps as it would be in America.
Mm-hmm.
But then they will have something else that is better than we have here.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a realization that people do things differently, and some things are going to be more to my preference than others.
Mm-hmm.
But the totality of being there is very positive.
Mm-hmm.
And really, there's some of the things that are some that I won't say better that are different are things that I really don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And some changes are not just going to another country, but going from working and the 60, 70 hours a week in a professional environment here
Right.
to now being retired.
Right.
I don't need to wear a suit anymore.
Right.
So, I don't need different things that I might. So, like I said, some things are based on just change in life, change in what I'm doing in my life, and some things are based on changing to a different country.
But do you? I think this is one thing I asked you about last time. We consider, and I'll use the word network. Wherever you are, you always have a network of people, whether it's your family, whether it's a club, whatever. Do you have that network so that you maybe you don't feel lonely? Do you have enough of a network so that you feel like if you needed something in an emergency situation that you have a network of people where you could kind
of? No, but that is my fault, based on my personality. I'm somewhat introverted, but there are groups available, and maybe now that I'm thinking about staying there long term, I will make more of an effort to get involved. But there's a program in Thailand, like Line. It's like kind of like WhatsApp.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you communicate on it, and you're in groups.
Okay.
So I'm in a group.
Okay.
So I see the messages, the thread every day of the people on there messaging, and it's predominantly black men that live in the city, and the group has 300 members.
Wow.
So there's ample opportunity. That's at least 300 people that if I would go to some of the events and stuff, I probably would get along with at least a few of them. And there's also some a veterans group out there that
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
have their information and I could go to their group or
Mhm.
their meetings.
Mhm.
And one of the things they do in both of these groups is to check on each other.
Oh, good.
So that if there's something going on, you can, you have people around that will at least come see that you're okay.
Oh, that's good. Veteran school. Is there an American base in Thailand?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
No, there's no base.
Oh.
They do have some veterans groups, and you can use the VA in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
There's no VA hospital, but you can use it there. And I'm not sure about an embassy. I haven't checked.
Mhm.
But there's no base.
Mhm. Interesting.
Bases are wonderful because then I could do some shopping there.
Right. Right. I was just curious. Um, uh, so you pretty much got settled in. Are you living in the same place that you were living when you first moved there, or you have a different place already?
I'm in my third place.
Mhm.
First two were hotel rooms,
Mhm.
and then I rented an apartment,
Mhm.
and I tried different parts of the city with the hotel room,
Mhm.
and so I've been in 3 different areas
Mhm.
looking for the area that I like the best. I intentionally did that. When I went there, I really had 4 areas that I thought I wanted to look at,
Mhm.
but I liked the apartment so much that I just like this area.
Oh, okay.
It's quiet. It's kind of because tourist towns are
Oh.
you have the area that's for the tourists
Right.
where all the partying and things
Right.
go on,
Right.
and then you have the area that's for the residents. It's kind
Right.
of quieter. So I'm out where the suburbs, I guess,
Mhm.
where there's a little beach town.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
from my apartment, I can't see the beach. And that was intentional because those apartments are cheaper.
Oh, okay.
But the beach is across the street. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, so I can walk over to the beach.
Well, that's good. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. That's tape.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So obviously you settle in. You're renting an apartment. You've gotten the lay of the land. And what do you see yourself doing in the next year? What are your goals? You're retired, I know, but how do you see yourself operating throughout? I know you want to travel some, I'm sure.
There are a couple of places I want to travel. I do want to take a language class,
Mhm.
and I want to still concentrate on my health this year. I've been trying to lose weight and get my blood pressure down. That was my main focus. I figure for my first, I say it will be my main focus for my first 2 years. Before it's kind of off on a tangent, but sometimes with men, we have to be productive. We have to be doing something. And so I'm already thinking about 2 projects. One of starting a little small business there, and another writing project, and both would be going back into the workforce.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it is. I guess I shouldn't say men. Some people, I'm sure there are women that feel the same way, that they have to have if not a job, a business, they have to be doing something
Mhm.
to make themselves feel productive. And so that's something I'm thinking about. But I don't want to rush it. I've been working a long time. And I maybe put that off for another year and just
Mhm. Well,
concentrate.
you're still young.
Yeah, hopefully I have some time. Yeah.
Yes, and so yes, I can see where you would take a year off and just kind of relax and.
Yes.
Mhm.
So but yeah, I do. I see some opportunities, and there's some people that I've met that I like I said, four men who have gone there and started businesses, and I say, well, this is very interesting. I like, well, maybe I'll try to do something.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. You made contacts, and it doesn't seem like it's been a year since we had this conversation.
Time goes by so quickly, doesn't it? It seems like a long time in that I was happy to see you guys, happy to see my family and stuff. But when you're going through the day to day, it's just you get up, you do your thing that day, then the next day, and a year has gone by.
Yeah, a lot of time. So hold on, I'm going to take a break for a minute here.
Okay.
And what was your route coming back here?
Well, I wanted to avoid that being on a plane for that long. So I first looked for a cruise from Asia to the United States. I don't know. I have to maybe Google, try to do some research. It doesn't seem like they offer cruises on the Pacific Ocean at this time of year. It seems like the only cruises in the Pacific are in the summer months. And there maybe weather reasons for that or something. I don't know. So I said, okay, well, I can't take a cruise from Asia directly to the U.S., but I did see some cruises leaving from Europe to the U.S. And the flight from Thailand to Europe is around 10, 11 hours. So I said, okay, well, that's a lot better than 20, 21 hours.
Yes.
So I said, okay, I will fly to Europe and then take the cruise ship from Europe to the U.S. So that's how that came about. So I flew. I'd never been to Europe either. It was the first time going to Asia, first time going to Europe. So I tried to pack in a few countries. So I flew into Germany, and then I don't like air travel. Air travel has gotten just. I remember. I'm old enough now to remember when you pretty much could just walk up to the plane. It seemed like you got a meal. And more room in the plane.
Yes. That's not.
Yeah, the airports now. And unfortunately, we have to have the security. We need it. But the whole process is tiring, and so long segue. But when I got to Europe, that meant I didn't want to travel around by plane. And in Europe, you can very easily travel by train. So I took the train from Germany. I went to the Netherlands. From the Netherlands, I took a bus. Went through Belgium and France, and I ultimately ended up in Barcelona, Spain, where my cruise ship left out. So I got to see a few different countries.
And you were able to cruise from Barcelona to Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, to Cape Canaveral, right.
Which is amazing. Because Cape Canaveral is not that far from us.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and I was interested in that.
Well, it turns out a 20-hour flight is long, and a 12-day cruise is kind of long too.
Well, I can imagine. Yes.
But at least you have some amenities and things on the ship.
Yes.
But about 2 weeks on the ship, you can kind of get.
Yes.
And I'm going back that way too. I'm taking a cruise ship out of Miami to London on my return trip.
But that's but at least on the ship you can walk around.
Yeah, you can walk around
and kind of. I know it could get a little tedious on the water but they are like resorts. They are. So I don't know how I'll come back next year. I have to see maybe with some what the budget. Let the budget tell me what I'm going to do. Yeah, well, the budget does often dictate.
Yeah, but I similar to going to Asia, the first time going to Europe is no, you see different things, and you see how people do things differently, and making the comparison, you appreciate some of those differences, and I definitely, I'm happy that I went. I was in Germany and the Netherlands in November. I would not do that again.
Oh my gosh, yes, I can. It's cold, probably cold, freezing.
But people from all over the world and these countries too. They're international cities, Paris and Amsterdam.
Oh gosh, yes.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
So Asians, Africans.
Yeah, especially Amsterdam. Yeah, that's.
And in fact, like people from the U.S. are tend to be in the minority. I guess since it's so far away.
Right.
That, I mean, we are there, but you're running into far more people from other places.
Oh yeah. Most certainly. Most certainly. I know I was in Amsterdam in 1992, but it was an international place, and it had open borders at that time for Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were people from all over. I mean, it was just like a hodgepodge of people all over the world. So.
And when you say open borders, it's amazing. I mean, I don't think I spoke to one official in my whole time in Europe. I'm just traveling around from country to country, going everywhere I want to go. And
open borders.
Yeah, and you don't talk to any government official. And you get over here to the U.S. and you're gonna talk to quite.
You're gonna talk to a few.
Yeah.
That's where you get in.
Yeah. You get in.
Yeah, they know.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, sounds like you very interesting. You achieved your goal. It's been a year, and we look forward to talking to you again about how things progress for you. But looks like you achieved what you set out to do. And again, I think this is interesting in our conversation, because maybe me being the age that I am, there weren't a lot of people, say my age, who are doing what you're doing. But now, the world being such a small place, that people are venturing out to different places.
And I think it's good. I think you should, and the sooner the better. I mean, cruise ships are far more accommodating to older people than a lot of places. So you can be an older person, and the cruise ship seems like the majority of the population of the cruise ship is retired people. But when traveling around the world, especially in Asia and Europe too, they don't have a common. They have their architecture and their streets and were built, designed hundreds of years ago. So they're not very elderly or disability friendly. Right. So get out there and do it while you're physically able. Yes. Because I went to Ecuador and Cambodia. Well, it's not handicap accessible. If you can't walk up there, you're not going to see it. Right. Yeah. Right. So, and you said, ask me the canals and everything. You got to walk to where there's a bridge. Right. You can't. The canal is there, and if you're gonna get to the other side, you got to keep going until you can get to the crossing. Right. So, but beautiful cities, beautiful places. Go. I try to have something more controversial for you next year. Well, we'll see. I'm sure you will. But this is interesting, and pair it with the first videos you did. It should educate people to what's going on. Again, I mean, I've seen things on YouTube where more Americans are venturing to different places to retire or to live or to work. But again, you can work from anywhere as long as there's Wi-Fi. Well, yeah, a lot of the Americans that I met in Thailand work or are working,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 12-hour time difference, so it's nighttime there, and they're working on their computer doing their job here.
Right.
And sometimes I don't think that their companies are aware
That they're working from, they're not within the continental United States.
Yeah, but you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the wonderful thing about Wi-Fi, being able to work from wherever.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's going to be interesting. I mean, to see people being able to do that, and I think as horrible as COVID may have been, that's one of the blessings that came from COVID, where people were able to work from home as opposed to being in an office building somewhere.
Well, it is a blessing for the individual. Now, I don't know how governments are going to, because part of the reason there is some pushback, I think, here in the States about people working at home.
Yes.
Is the real estate and the loss of revenue and the property values of commercial buildings here. Okay, no, we don't want everyone to work from home. A lot of the economy is built on people commuting.
Yes.
And so.
Yes, that was.
Then on that, and so then we say, okay, not only am I going to be working remotely, but I'm going to be working outside of the country.
Yes, I mean,
you're taking away all that money, and then plus taxes.
Yes,
you got to think of, well, where
it's a whole nother dimension to this thing.
The country you're working for probably going to say, well, hey, you're here working.
Yes.
Even if you're working over there, you should pay us something. And then,
right.
Well, are you paying? Where's your residency in the States? Are you paying any state taxes?
Right.
Are you paying? The federal government's going to get their income.
Exactly.
So how's that going to work?
There are new things. When I served on council, one of the things that governments contend with is transportation. How are we going to get people from point A to point B in order to work? Well, that all changed when people start being able to work from home. So you find out that maybe you don't need as many roads. Maybe you don't need as many office buildings. So the whole dynamic has changed.
Yeah.
So yes, we're going to have to contend with that. This is a new thing, the computers, and then the supercomputers, and again with the Starlink, with Elon Musk being able to connect with satellites and things like that. Yes, it has changed things.
Yeah, definitely.
It has changed things.
And you as a former government official, I'm sure you can look at it both sides of it and say, okay, well, now we don't have to spend as much on our roads and stuff, but so we're saving money there. But now we also don't have as many people coming to support the local businesses.
Exactly.
So our tax base is reduced there. So as a government official, as a business, you can kind of weigh things out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That things have changed. That your model has changed. Whereas it used to be, again, trying to get people from to a downtown area in order to support the businesses there or whatever. Well, but then another thing also, I have a friend who does Uber, and he says a lot of his business is Uber Eats.
Yes.
That people order stuff. They don't go to the restaurants anymore. They order stuff out. So very interesting times we're living in.
Yes.
Very interesting times we're living in. We just saw a movie last night too that was really interesting, and I won't go into detail about it right now, but I'm saying, and it's about AI and robots and things like that. But we are definitely in a different time.
But that is going to impact where people live and
Yes.
the jobs as well. But I think AI is going to have the I won't say opposite effect, but a similar effect as the internet, and that you can buy all of your stuff on the internet.
Yes.
so that people start going to purchasing the retail. So the only things businesses that people are supporting are shops where you had to go for like medical and stuff, where they had to go physically to get it, because otherwise they could purchase it online. So that was the impact, kind of the impact of the internet closing down a lot of research.
Yes.
I think AI is going to have a similar impact in that you're going to have a physical occupation, something that you have to put hands on, because AI is going to take the like medical writing or a lot of legal work, a lot of computational work, where it's like, well, now we don't need to hire you to do that. AI can.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that.
Yes. So if you're, we need people to dig ditches.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. We don't need you to plan out where the ditch is going to go.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're going back to where it used to be. Where you don't have to go to college for 4 years in order to get a profession where it's paying a lot of money. Will pay you a lot of money to dig ditches, or again, like electrician or plumbers or so on and so forth.
Or
this is
put your hands on we need exactly, electrician, plumber, we need someone to go in there. But as far as planning the layout, the piping of the city, AI is going to do that. Right,
exactly. Yes, we are in a different time, and and it enables you to be halfway around the world and being able to interact, like sending your mom stuff through Whole Foods or sending me something through Whole Foods. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Far easier now than ever before to go.
Yes, to be in a different place.
Yeah,
and so we'll see how that happens. This has been an interesting discussion, and I think the last question I wrote down, and you may have answered a little bit, but I'll give you an opportunity to expound on it. Your expectations for this coming next year as you go back to the place that you decide that you're going to retire to, your expectations of, and I'm sure the longer you live there, you're perhaps determined maybe there are some things that you will have to do. Such as you mentioned, maybe starting a business on your own or things like that. First year looks like you've just been relaxing, you're retired, okay. But as we move forward, what are your expectations for this coming year?
Well, the end of this next year, Mom and I are going to go visit Costa Rica and Panama on a cruise. And at this point, I mean, we've already planned it. I think that's just being more thorough and saying, okay, I've now gone to see all the places. I think I'm pretty much going to start trying to establish some networks in Thailand. Because like you said earlier, you need networks wherever you are. And, and I also think that you need to give back to whatever communities you're into. So if I'm going to be there long term, I need to be doing something that to thank Thailand for letting me be there.
Yes.
So that would be kind of the focus, preparing for that, like learning the language, learning more about the customs and how I can fit in and create networks and be a beneficial, if not citizen, a beneficial resident to my community.
Okay.
So that's kind of the next year. And I'm still not, health-wise, I'm still not where I want to be. So I'm down a few blood pressure medications. I like to at least get off of maybe one or two more. So that's the focus.
And that's always the case as you get older. We have to pay attention to our health because our bodies are wearing out.
Yes.
So we pay more attention to our health so that we can live a productive life in our later years.
Yes.
That's always, and whatever we need to do in order maintain these bodies that we have.
Oh yeah, the only ones we have.
Yeah. So that's very important. Well, this I think has been a very interesting conversation, and I hope that paired with what you did last year and with this right here, it gives people an opportunity to see that things are changing.
Yes.
How we're living and where we're living,
Yeah.
and especially people who are in the United States. Because I had a friend. He was from Haiti, and he would always say to me, he said, "You." The expectation was that if you're a U.S. citizen, you got it made, or if you speak English, you've got it made. And that I think that's the expectation from around the world, that they see us as having it all here in the United States.
Yeah.
And for citizens here saying, well, maybe we have it all, but I'd like to experience some other place. So I think that's what's happening.
I think you're right. Many places think that, if you're from the U.S., then automatically you're wealthy. They don't really know about some of the and comparatively, maybe we are doing better than a lot of people. But as one thing you said, as an African American Gen Xer, I do hope that other people will hear this and be encouraged to go, because it's wonderful opportunities there. There are other African Americans there that are running businesses and living their lives, and people from around the world, like I said, in Asia, up in Europe and stuff, they travel and they go places far more than we do in the U.S.
Yes.
They are experiencing the world, and you can go, and nobody is going to look at you twice. If you're polite and you're spending money, you're welcome.
Yes. Yes. Green is green is yes. Or whatever color the currency is.
Yeah. I hope I'm Gen X, so I would hope that African American men who are millennials and Gen Z, younger men, could just have more energy and more drive.
Right.
Go and there's so many opportunities, so many things that they can do.
That's encouraging. And that's encouraging for a number of reasons, which we'll go into later on from some things I'm trying to accomplish here. But that's encouraging that the world is at our doorstep, and we need to make
a beautiful world.
So we need to take advantage of that.
Yes.
And take advantage of it. And I was telling you, your grandmother would have been very proud of you, in the sense that she was always trying to have us experience things outside of our small town. That she saw that the world was a big place, and she tried to give us an opportunity to experience things. So I just
because even in that time, Grandma had 4 children, and she sent all of y'all to college out of state.
Yes. Oh yeah. That was.
Yeah, all of you go.
She wanted us to go.
Yeah.
She wanted us to go because
they bought y'all luggage.
Yes.
That's a heck of a high school graduation.
Yes. That was everybody got luggage. Samsonite luggage.
Yes, Samsonite luggage.
And I can tell you this, that my dad didn't want me to go away to college, and my dad said to me, Judith, if you don't go away, I'll buy you a brand new car. And my mother hit the roof. She said, don't do that to her. Everybody else got a chance to go. Let her go and experience. And that's a lot for a mother to want her child to go away from the nest and experience what life, although sometimes it may have been kind of not so hot, but she wanted us to experience that. And I thank her for that, because as a result, I have dreams and aspirations too, Tony, that you may not be the only one who has who ventures out.
Next year, I'm willing to sit in the interview chair.
Okay,
and
all right.
We'll ask you what
you ask it, because I may have made some plans.
You always have some interesting things going on.
Well, I may have made some plans too.
Okay. We touched briefly on your we mentioned your government service here, but we can go into some more detail about some of the things you're doing.
Oh yes, definitely. So this has been great. So I thank you very much, and this is I look forward to editing this and putting it up really quickly, and so that people will have an opportunity. And that we move forward. This will maybe I'll travel and do Java with Judith, pop up Java with Judith. That's what it's called, because I can pop up anywhere and have Java with Judith and interview you. So we thank you very much, and we pray for a safe trip back to Thailand, and we'll see what the next year brings.
Yes, that's looking forward to it.
Thank you
for having me again.
All right.
All right.
All right.
And maybe that's I'll interview you, because you got some good stories. You need to get them down.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. It's how many we got.